Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading for the 2-5, right? Yep, the 2-5, or the Hermit Heretic profile in human design. If you don't know what your profile is, there's a link in the description below for you to get your human design body graph. And amongst the plethora of information on there about you, one of those bits will be your profile. So definitely check out your zodiac sign reading too. I'm doing those. I've reintroduced those into my repertoire. And that's too many cards. Let's get you an oracle card, and then, of course, we'll get your tarot out. Ooh. Ooh. Like, I saw the card first, and then I read it. Okay. It says the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? This feels very Tower moment. Just, the imagery alone. Okay. It doesn't even want to stay in my hand. It is interesting. It feels like keeping yourself in a state of being, like keeping yourself in an identity that doesn't even fit you anymore. And maybe that's like rooted, oh my gosh. Maybe that's rooted in, familiar family expectations. We have the Death card. And it says rebirth on here too. We have the 6 of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles. Beautiful. 3 more. Yeah, it's definitely time to let go of something, whatever that is. Even a home, or like where you live, like maybe you don't feel home. Like I was originally from Las Vegas. That's where my family moved to when I was young. We have the Devil card, and that's paired with the Death card. We have the 9 of Cups, which is paired with the 6 of Swords. And for whatever reason, I just looked at the top of the deck. It was a 6 of Pentacles. We'll see if it comes out, but I don't even know why I did that. But anyway, so I was raised in Las Vegas, but I never really felt home there. I just never really felt comfortable. I never thought that like it would be the place that I would like live forever. Oh, that was going to be so effing funny if it was the 6 of Pentacles. It's the Knight of Pentacles. And then the 3 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Justice, the Hierophant. Anyway, we vacation. So I live in Colorado now, and we vacationed here when I was like 10 or 11 or something. And I fucking loved it. I felt home. I'm a Cancer rising too, so I think that feeling of home is important to me. But anyway, I literally hid with some cats under this staircase, thinking my family would just leave me behind. And I could just live there forever. Spoiler alert, they did not leave me behind. I have a picture with my mom and my sister and me, and I'm like, literally, I'm just crying in this picture. If I can find it, I'll just put a quick overlay of it, because I'm just like devastated in this picture with I had a mullet at the time. Oh man. Anyway, if I remember, I will try to find that. So it is interesting because, okay, right? Like I was talking about, well, not that I was talking about it because this card comes out, right? Like, what are you clinging on to? And what was coming through to me was, again, an identity, a way of being, even a behavior pattern. Because maybe that's just the way that you've always behaved, but you also, it's like you recognize within yourself that that's just not a way that you want to act anymore. And maybe it's like, well, I don't even know how I would act otherwise, well, all you have to do is not act or react in the same way that you have been. There doesn't have to be anything to replace it right away, but because I think we also tend to get stuck in that, like, if I wasn't this way, which way would I be? And I went through that process myself because it really is confusing, right? And I think that, maybe it's human nature, maybe it's just the way that our minds work, but we feel like we have to fill the space. Like if we let go of something, if we change something, we have to fill that space with something else right away. We don't. We can just sit with it. And we can recognize, first of all, awareness. We can recognize that even with this death card, that a way that we have been being, and again, I'm using this as one example. I'll finish my thought and then we'll move on. But it's literally just deciding. It's being aware, like I said, for one, that this feeling is coming up and I want to take action in this way. But I don't want to act from that place or in that way going forward. I hope that makes sense. And I'm just going to trust that it does because that's what's coming through. But you just don't. You almost like sit with it, or a new idea comes to mind, and it will. 100% of the time it will, if we can sit with the discomfort. Because even death is discomfortable, uncomfortable. And this is not literal death, right? I mean, it's not like unaliving, but it is the true end of something. And again, that's a thought pattern, that's a behavior pattern, that's something that you've identified with. It could be a peer group, it could be your job, it could be a relationship, whatever it is, right? Like anytime the death card comes up, I always say new beginnings disguise themselves as endings, because truly, in order for something new to begin, something has to end. And the death card, it does speak to rebirth. So I'm glad that Chris Ann, put rebirth on here, the author of this deck, because truly, like, it is a card about death, right? And it is very important, though, for whatever that thing is for you to stop, that cycle to end. This could even be generational healing. Like maybe your parents, your mother, your father, your family in some capacity, like some tradition even. It could be societal, it could be cultural, whatever it is, but you recognize that it's not authentic for you, it's not true for you, and you are cutting the energy to it and rebirthing something new within yourself. And it is paired with the devil card, like I said, and the devil card is the chains that bind us. It's also, ego, or is it like super ego? Is that a thing? It could be addictions, of course, obsessions, but the things that control us. So that can be ego. And again, it can be expectations. It could be an addiction to numbing or distraction. It could, of course, be an addiction to a substance as well. But also, I mean, if you are using that substance in a fashion to numb, to just fit in. I mean, my whole 20s, I was basically a drunk. But it was like the thing that, like, I felt more comfortable in social settings. I felt like I was, of course, more apt to quote unquote be myself, which I wasn't being myself, because the next morning I would wake up and feel terrible and embarrassed. Not all the time, but a lot of the times. And it didn't land me more connection or friends. If anything, we were all just kind of enabling each other. And when I quit drinking, when I quit, going out so much and doing the bar scene and all of that, I lost those friends too. So again, it's I don't know why I keep kind of inserting my own experience. I mean I do that in readings, but I feel like I've done that more in your reading so far. But living by example, right? um so anyway, and in this card, right? Okay, so this devil has this soul here with strings attached. And it's like one or two things happening here, right? I mean, they're offering your soul back. And this is not the man-made biblical, whatever devil. This is the energy of the thing. Okay? I don't know why I've also felt the need um to clarify that in these readings specifically. And maybe it's because the devil card has actually come up in a significant amount of the readings that I've done so far. So maybe that's why, because we don't usually see the devil that often. But to be clear, I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe that there is a thing called the devil. Either way, this is the energy of the things that control us, the obsessions that we have, the addictions that we pick up along the way, right? It's anything that we feel even tethered to. Even that book, The Tethered Soul. If you have read that, that's a reminder of something that you picked up in that book, or it could even be a message to read or listen to it. But so there's two things here, right? I mean, this devil could be just an indication, right, that there is something in your life that has control over you, whatever that is. And again, it could be a thought pattern, it could be a behavior pattern, it could be a tradition, it could be, a societal, cultural expectation, it could be a generational thing, it could be a gender thing even. Or two, the other way, this could be, again, your soul being offered back to you. It's like taking back control of yourself. And it seems like you do, okay? Especially with it paired with the death card, there's definitely it's like the energy is available now for you to recognize the thing, which you probably already know what the thing is. And it's literally making a decision to take your power back, to, be in more control of your life. And I say that too because we have the Six of Swords. Swords have to do with our mindset, its thoughts, ideas, beliefs, how we're communicating those things. I also see swords as being the suit of ego because that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, feelings, circumstances, right? Whether they're our stories or not, and whether they're true or not, but they become part of our identity. They become part of, the reason. It's the filter that our reality goes through that creates this story of what we believe to be true, right? So it becomes the reason why you do things and why you don't do things. So with the Six of Swords, this is moving forward. But again, since it's swords, it's mentally. It's leaving something behind. This could be moving, of course, whether that's moving homes, moving states, moving countries. But again, with it being swords, it's moving from one state of mind to another. And it's being guided by the crows here too. So there's this level of trust that goes into this. And also the Six of Swords, like traditionally, the Six of Swords, they're moving out of choppy waters into more peaceful waters. So, if there's just been kind of like a mental, kind of chaos, a mental storm was coming to mind. I think it's because, this card is pretty gray. Then this would be saying that you're making a conscious decision to allow your thoughts, your mind to move forward and think more forward, think more of what is in front of you, not what is behind you. They also only have one suitcase here, so it's not even taking a lot of baggage with you. And again, there's this trust aspect because nobody's actually guiding this boat. Nobody's driving it besides the crows. Crows also represent change. Let me just Google it really quick and see if there's... Crow animal spirit is a gateway between light and dark and the freedom to go in either direction. She does not judge your choices because she knows you are on a sacred learning path. Transformation, positive change, intelligence, which is also very mind, right? Generally considered to be a good omen when you see a crow. Temporary and unexpected changes are coming, but the outcome will be positive. And you know how we know that? Because we have the Nine of Cups. I'm glad I looked that up. The Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. Nines are individual completion, though. So nines have more to do with the individual. Tens have to do with others, community, family, right? Nines have to do with you specifically. I mean, even finding this buried treasure, that's something that's within you. That's not something that's outside of you. It's, if you do actually find a buried treasure, I hope that you share it with me. But like a literal buried treasure with like golden shit in it. But this is more, cups have to do with our feelings, right? Emotions, how we feel about our lives, how we feel about ourselves specifically, since it's a nine. Also love. What is our relationship to love? Love of self, love of others. How do we give it? More importantly, how do we receive it? It's knowing our worth and not putting up with less. There's this starburst coming out from around their heart chakra center. So again, you know, it's feeling full, it's feeling purposeful, feeling fulfilled even. But this is a feeling that comes from within you. There's no outside validation, no outside source, no outside anything that is going to make you feel this. This is going to come from within you. And it's because you made this decision. You recognize that you were clinging on to something. You made a decision to let go of whatever that thing is for you. I mean, truly, it can be anything. You made this conscious decision to move forward. You found this within yourself because I mean, it really is freeing to have control of yourself, be in your own authenticity, express yourself authentically. But then we have the Five of Pentacles. So yeah, it's going to feel good, but there's also going to be some feeling ostracized. What was I trying to say? Ostracization. Being ostracized. So pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time, where we physically showing up in our lives. It's also our physical body. It's our home, our, physical possessions. It's also the things that we place worth and value on. Fives are transitionary energies. So they're nothing to pitch a tent and get stuck in, but they're also necessary to get us from point A to point B. So with the Five of Pentacles, there's like a couple different ways that I always end up seeing this card. Is she sitting in this room isolated by herself, clearly feeling a bit down? But there's literally a key there, and, assuming that key fits that keyhole, they could literally make a decision to walk through that door. Or are they afraid to? Like they're not locked in a room against their will type of thing. But there is this opportunity to put this key in that keyhole, walk through the door and see what happens. And that's scary, that's uncertain. It could also be that the people in your life who you thought would be, kind of your ride or dies, maybe they're not anymore. That's hard. That is hard. I will tell you that, like, in the last, really since 2008, which, Pluto was in Capricorn since 2008, and Capricorn is my seventh house of like other people, relationships and stuff, right? And I think I went through 3 friend groups in that time. I met friends, I lost friends, just, we stopped talking, we had a fallout, whatever. I got married and divorced in that time. um, like I have been isolated. There's a lot of healing that can come from being isolated too, because truly you have to rely on yourself. You have to like unpack your own baggage. So, again, this is temporary. This is something that you may experience though, as far as lack. Maybe you don't feel supported. Maybe you do leave a job. Maybe you go through a period where money feels unstable in some capacity. But again, it's a transition and it's temporary. And especially if you are rebuilding, because that's what the Knight of Pentacles is. So, you let go of these 5 pentacles so that you could harvest all of these pentacles. This is a lot more than 5. Right? And the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the tarot. I mean, they're walking along their horse. They're not walking, or they're not riding their horse, which would potentially be quicker, right? So with the Knight of Pentacles, there is this message about dedication and commitment. It is not giving up. Things may be moving slowly, and that might be frustrating. And you might also take that as like failure, because I think too, like if we don't get that instant gratification, or if we don't get that instant boom, like success of whatever the thing is, right? If we don't immediately feel those fireworks going off, or we don't immediately, see our bank account change, or see, the number of followers or whatever, like go up all that fast, then we're like, oh, it's a failure. No, it just, give it more time. Stay dedicated to it. Stay committed to it. All of these pentacles are ready to be harvested. And also it even looks like these pentacles are following that guy. So it's like you don't even have to chase it either. The 3 of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. This feels like a new adventure. Wands are action. It's the motivation behind the actions that we take. It's creativity, passion. How are we communicating those things? What actions are we taking towards those things? I also see Wands as being information, or like experience, because that's what we get by trying things, right? We figure out what works. We figure out what doesn't work. What do we like? What don't we like? What stays, what goes, right? And with it being a 3, they are embarking on a new journey. They're trying a new thing. There's also this element of play here. Even a rite of passage, broadening your horizons. We have the Justice card. This is very much fated. It's karma. The scales balancing. This is a card of Libra. The Hierophant, the King of Swords. This is all very positive. All positive. And thank you. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.